Hey everybody, Don Mammoser here again. Today we're talking scenic photography, and I'm going to teach you how to get those awesome starbursts that you've seen on landscape photos and cityscape photos. So you can see I've got a selection of lenses here, but you'll find that always if you reach for your wider angle lenses, you're going to get those better starbursts. So when I'm out there and I want a great starburst, I reach for something like Canon's 17-40 or Tamron's 15-30 is an awesome lens for starbursts. Or even something like I have on this Sony camera. I have a 28-200, and at the wide angle, this will give nice starbursts as well. So come with me, let's learn how to get these starbursts and improve your landscape photography. So starbursts are also known as sunbursts, or some people may even call it lightbursts. And they can make photos of almost any subject better. Starburst shots are dramatic, they're interesting, and they're often unique. A proper starburst can add needed drama to a mundane sky or a plain ordinary scene. And most starbursts will, of course, be from the sun, but starbursts can also come from streetlights, or even a headlight can make a good starburst shot. So if you are using the sun as your light source, it should definitely be a point source in the sky and not obscured by clouds. You can see here's a shot. There was a little bit of obscurity by the clouds, and so you can see my starburst isn't nearly as good until that cloud moved away, and then the shot got much better. Okay, so in practice, the photography technique for starburst is actually the same regardless of what your subject is or what will be making your starburst, whether it's the sun or some city lights. As I said, wide angles will always give you the best results, so reach for your wide angle lens. Now step 1 is to choose a small aperture opening, such as f16 or f22. Something in that range will give you the best starbursts. Step 2 is to use aperture priority or full manual mode. Step 3 is you aim the camera at the scene just to the left or to the right of the light source. So you lock in your exposure there with a half press of the shutter, or simply get a reading by setting it there, and you can see, as an example, let's say that your camera gave you a reading of f16 and a 200th of a second. So you remember those numbers, then you go to full manual mode and you dial those numbers in, f16 at a 200th of a second. And I don't like to use auto ISO. I like to set my ISO somewhere around 200 to 400 for starbursts. And step 4 is to take the shot and review it, and take away or add light if necessary, but you use the shutter speed to do that. Leave the aperture at f16 or f22. Step 5 is many times you'll get great results if part of the sun is hidden behind something. It can be anything, such as a horizon, or a tree, or part of a tree like a tree branch, or rocks or something like that. The sun partly hidden, and then you get your settings and you aim your camera up there at the sun while the sun is hidden, and then you sort of lean over until the sun becomes part of your frame, and that's when you fire off your shots. So with that sun partly hidden, you can get great results, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. You can get good results as well from a plain sky as long as there's no clouds obscuring the sun, as I mentioned. Okay, sometimes you're going to get these flares that show up, and they're really just random, and sometimes they add to the effect of the starburst, and other times it becomes just too much and I don't like it. So it all depends on the situation and what's happening with your particular lens and the scene that you're trying to photograph. You'll also find that you get the best results by taking off any and all filters that are on your lens. So don't use a UV filter, don't use a polarizer if you're trying to get good starbursts. And you'll also find that you get great results if you keep that front lens element nice and clean and dust free. That way you won't have these little highlights that come from the light hitting those dust specks. Alright, so let's look at a couple of specific examples that I got of great starbursts. Here was a few where I had the starburst of the sun in the sky, and the reflection in the water also gave a starburst. So it was a double starburst effect, which really was, I thought, unique and really cool. And here's another example of a morning where I had just awesome luck with starbursts. I was at a small chapel in Tuscany called Vitelletta, and no matter which angle I tried, I was just really successful getting great starbursts this one particular morning. Here's another example of a great starburst that was happening at Mesa Arch in Canyonlands National Park. And I also felt like it needed a little bit of a human scale element in it, so I had my wife go up there and stand up on the arch, and that gave an even better effect, I felt. And of course, I'm talking mostly about still photography and getting starbursts for that. But of course, if you do videography, you can get great starbursts, and the technique is basically the same. You point your camera, you get your settings, and then once you start filming, you can move the camera a little bit to bring the starburst in and out behind leaves or something like that. Very nice results, either with still photography or with videography. All right, so I hope you can see that it's really actually pretty easy to get those great starbursts. I hope that you give it a try soon and just enjoy the resulting photos. I've always loved doing starbursts, and as always, I thank you for watching my videos. Please subscribe if you haven't, and click the like button, and also feel free to share this video as much as you'd like. Thank you, and see you soon.